1.29 Minor illnesses and conditions. A. 9. A cough. 6.
A headache.
1. A rash. 4.
A temperature.
2. Sunburn. 8.
She's sick. She's vomiting.
10. She's sneezing. 3.
Her ankle is swollen.
7. Her back hurts. Her back aches. 5.
Her finger is bleeding.
1.30 C. 1. B.
He has a sore throat. It hurts when he talks or swallows food.
2. D.
He has diarrhea. He's been to the bathroom 5 times this morning.
3. E.
He feels sick. He feels like he's going to vomit.
4. C.
He's fainted. It's so hot in the room that he's lost consciousness.
5. H.
He has a blister on his foot. He's been walking in uncomfortable shoes.
6. F.
He has a cold. He's sneezing a lot, and he has a cough.
7. A.
He has the flu. He has a temperature and he aches all over.
8. G.
He feels dizzy. He feels that everything is spinning around.
9. I.
He's cut himself. He's bleeding.
1.31 Injuries and more serious conditions. 1. C.
He's unconscious. He's breathing, but his eyes are closed and he can't hear or feel anything.
2. G.
He's had an allergic reaction. He was stung by a wasp and now he has a rash and has difficulty breathing.
3. B.
He's twisted his ankle. He's sprained his ankle. He fell badly and now it's swollen.
4. D.
He has high blood pressure. It's 180/140.
5. E.
He has food poisoning. He ate some chicken that wasn't fully cooked.
6. F.
He's choking. He was eating a steak and a piece got stuck in his throat.
7. A.
He burned himself. He spilled some boiling water on himself.
1.32 Phrasal verbs connected with illness. 1.
Pass out means faint.
2.
Lie down means put your body in a horizontal position.
3.
Throw up means vomit, be sick.
4.
Get over means get better, recover from something.
5.
Come around means become conscious again.
1.33
Shower. Sh. Pressure. Rash. Unconscious.
Jazz. J. Allergy. Bandage.
Chess. choking, temperature,
key, k, ache, ankle, stomach.
1.34.
Antibiotics.
symptom,
Medicine.
emergency,
Operation.
aspirin,
Specialist.
acetaminophen,
X-ray.
cholesterol,
Injection.
CAT scan.
1.35.
Good morning, Mr. Blaine. What's the problem?
I haven't been feeling well for a few days. I keep getting headaches, and I've been coughing a lot too. And I have a temperature.
Have you been taking anything for the headaches?
Yes, acetaminophen. But it doesn't really help. I read on the internet that headaches can be the first symptom of a brain tumor.
How many tablets have you taken so far today?
I took 2 this morning.
And have you taken your temperature this morning?
Yes, I've taken it 5 or 6 times. It's high.
Let me see. Well, your temperature seems to be perfectly normal now.
I think I need a blood test. I haven't had one for 2 months.
Well, Mr. Blaine, I think we should wait for a few days and see how your symptoms develop. Can you send the next patient in, please, nurse?
1.36.
Your next patient is Mrs. Williams. Here are her notes.
How many times has Mr. Blaine been to the health center this week?
4 times, I think. Yes, I know. He's a complete...
1.37. 1,
Have you ever written a blog?
2,
We've landed, but we haven't gotten off the plane yet. I've already told you 3 times.
3,
It's the best book I've ever read.
4,
I've known Keiko since I was a child. My sister has had the flu for 10 days now.
5,
How many Patricia Cornwell novels have you read? They've seen each other twice this week.
1.38. 1,
How long have you been feeling sick?
He's been chatting online all evening.
2,
I haven't been sleeping well.
It's been raining all day.
3,
I've been shopping all morning. I'm exhausted.
Take your shoes off. They're filthy.
Yes, I know. I've been working in the yard.
1.39. 1,
I've been learning French for the last 3 years.
He's liked classical music since he was a teenager.
2,
She's been having a good time at school.
They've had that car for at least 10 years.
3,
We've lived in this town since 1980.
We've been living in a rented house for the last 2 months.
4,
I've painted the kitchen.
I've been painting the kitchen.
1.40. 1,
Life-threatening.
2,
Mouth ulcer.
3,
Alternative remedies.
4,
Under the weather.
5,
Cancer.
6,
Infection.
7,
Heart rate.
8,
Surgery.
9,
Pulse.
10,
Tumor.
11,
Miracle cures.
1.41.
So, Dr. Roberta, do you meet a lot of hypochondriacs in your work?
All the time, I'm afraid. It's very common these days for people to look up their symptoms on health websites on the internet and to diagnose themselves with weird or exotic illnesses. For example, the other day, I had a patient who came in because his back was very red and itchy. He had been looking on internet medical sites and was absolutely convinced that he had an extremely rare skin condition. He even knew the medical name, nodular paniculitis. But, in fact, when I examined him and talked to him, it turned out that he had spent the weekend working in his yard in the sun, and his back was sunburned.
So, you would prefer your patients not to check their symptoms on the internet?
No, don't get me wrong. I'm not anti-health websites. I just want people to use them sensibly. The problem is that diagnosis of a condition or an illness doesn't just depend on one specific symptom that you can type into Google. It depends on all kinds of other things, like a patient's appearance, their blood pressure, their heart rate, and so on.
Of course.
And diagnosis also depends on where you live. For example, if you live in a U.S. city and you haven't traveled overseas, it's very unlikely that you have malaria, even if you have some of the symptoms.
What other problems are there when people use health websites?
Well, you have to check carefully what kind of site it is that you are looking at. Some websites look as if they have been created by health professionals, but in fact, they've been set up by commercial companies that are trying to sell you something. Also, some healthcare sites recommend expensive treatments or medicine that is not available in all parts of the world.
Are there any websites that you would recommend?
Oh yes, absolutely. For example, people with chronic diseases like asthma can get a lot of help and information from online support groups. These websites have forums where you can talk to other people who have the same condition and illness, and you can usually get information about the latest research and new treatments. And there are often online support groups for people who have unusual illnesses too.
Finally, do you have any tips for all those hypochondriacs out there?
Yes, I have 3. First, only look online after you've been to the doctor. If you're not feeling well, make a list of the symptoms you have that are worrying you, and go and see your doctor with this list. Then, when your doctor has told you what he or she thinks, you could take a look online. Second, make sure you're looking at a reliable and professional medical website. And finally, remember that common symptoms usually have common causes. So if you have diarrhea, for example, it's much more likely to be food poisoning than the Ebola virus.
Dr. Roberta, thank you very much.